Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Tuesday, December 12th, 2023. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. If you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. When you focus on what is good, it does not benefit you at all to focus on what is negative, what makes you angry, what makes you sad, what makes you in a gloom and doom type of mindset. Don't focus on those things. Focus on what is good because it's beneficial to your heart, your mind, and spirit to focus on all those things that build you up, all the things that give you joy and peace and love. Focus on all those things. If you are out there traveling about today, this afternoon, this evening, make sure you say a prayer. Make sure you keep yourself safe and keep your family members safe. Don't be distracted by being on your phone. Distraction is an enemy. And if you are distracted, you will not know what is happening in your environment. So don't be distracted by being on your phone, but say a prayer and just be focused and use that hand sanitizer. Also, if you feel like you need to wear your mask in some situations, do that too, because people are still becoming ill and you want to keep yourself safe. And like I said, keep your family members safe. I always remind you of these things because I care. That is my granddaughter in the background on that intro track, and her voice is my motivation. So that voice you hear in the music, that is my granddaughter. Well, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. Well, I have a product I would like to mention to you. Magic Mind is an energy drink. It simply gives you energy when you need that little pickup. Most of us, we drink coffee, but Magic Mind is a simple energy drink with B2 and B12 vitamins and other types of content, of course. And it's a good product, and I suggest that you check it out, read about it, and learn about the content of the product and use it. It's a good product. You can find Magic Mind at magicmind.com if you would like to learn more about the product. And if you would like to purchase the product, you can purchase it at magicmind.com, SB Favor Thinking with the number 20. Once again, if you would like to purchase the product, you can purchase the product at magicmind.com, SB Favor Thinking with the number 20. And by adding SB Favor Thinking with the number 20, you will receive a discount. So once again, if you would like to buy the product, Magic Mind, the Magic Mind energy drink, you can purchase the product at magicmind.com, SB Favor Thinking with the number 20 for a discount. So thank you so much for your support if you decide to buy that product. Well, I do have an inspirational quote for you today. And my inspirational quote is, being mentally, spiritually, and emotionally healthy must be a priority. Bring power to your relationships and not your garbage. I'm going to read that inspirational quote again. Being mentally, spiritually, and emotionally healthy must be a priority. Yes. Bring power to your relationships and not your garbage. We all have a responsibility every single day to do self-inventory, to evaluate ourselves, to see where we are mentally, to see where we are spiritually. And what do I mean by that? Simply checking how you function, what are you thinking, how are you treating people. All those things should be evaluated. And in the process of evaluating where you are and what you're doing, if you find something or if something is revealed to you about yourself that is not good, it doesn't mean you should feel bad about yourself. It doesn't mean you should be guilty. It doesn't mean you should be ashamed. But what you should do is be honest with yourself to work on it. That's all you have to do. Be honest with yourself to work on it. And when you are honest with yourself to work on whatever that flaw is, then in that moment, you have just chosen self-love again. Because people that love themselves will work on themselves. Why? Because you want to become love for someone else. I'm going to say that again. People that work on themselves love themselves because you want to become love for someone else. We all have the ability to do the work on ourselves when we really want to, when you really care about what is important in your life, when it comes to how you treat people, what are you thinking? You will work on yourself. You will take a moment to be honest, to have some self-awareness, self-inventory, to evaluate what you are doing, what you are thinking about, to do the work on yourself. Because being spiritually, mentally, and emotionally healthy, you will become an asset for someone else. When you are doing the work on yourself, you become an asset for someone else so that they also can do the work on themselves. Because when you set the bar in your life and when you set the example for what should be done, then you become an example for someone else so that they can look at you and say, okay, I need to set the bar in my life. And I'm not talking about walking around talking about it all the time. I'm talking about in your actions. People should be able to learn from you by what you say and by what you do. A lot of times, some people, they talk about what they're going to do and how they're going to be. And most of us, we say, oh, I'm not like that and I would never do that. But guess what? We all are subject to having flaws or making mistakes. So the best thing to do is just set the example in your actions by what you say, by what you do, and the decisions that you make. Because somebody is always looking at you. Somebody is always paying attention to you. Yes, from a distance and up close. You have the power to influence someone in a negative way or in a positive way. And if you are conscientious of your actions, and if you are being honest with yourself, evaluating yourself, doing self-inventory, then what will happen is you will know what you are doing. And I'm not talking about trying to be perfect. I'm simply talking about being honest with yourself every single day so that you can make changes, so that you can tweak some things and be honest with yourself to do the work on yourself in different areas. Many of us, all of us, I should say, come from all types of different traumas. And because of our traumas, it's mandatory that we do the work on ourselves. It's mandatory that we seek help, get counseling, therapy. It's mandatory that we are honest with ourselves to see where we are. How are we functioning? We have to get answers to those questions. What am I doing? What am I saying? How am I treating my children? How am I treating my wife? How am I treating my husband? What am I saying or doing or thinking that is not good, that is not healthy? Am I too harsh? Am I negative when I speak? We have to be honest with those questions. And when we are honest with ourselves, we are honest with God. Yes, because when we are honest with ourselves and when we decide to do the work, I believe in that very moment, God steps in and he helps us because he's working on us anyway. But when we are aware of what we need to do, then he helps us. He helps us. Yes, he does. He helps us to do the work because in his mercy and his goodness and his kindness, he starts to reveal things to us according to how we should function. Yes. He starts to reveal things about how we can walk in more peace and how we can walk in more joy and how to function differently and not according to how you felt when your parents was divorced or how you felt when you was rejected when you was in high school. Sometimes people go through things in their life, and then when they interact with people in different types of relationships, they bring their traumas to relationships. And I'm not talking about just one type of relationship. I'm talking about all kinds of relationships. People bring their traumas to relationships. And you can meet somebody for the first time and all of a sudden this person that you meet, they start bringing you trauma from when they were 10 years old. Something happened to them at 10 years old and their conduct demonstrates all the trauma from when they were 10 years old. You didn't know them at 10 years old. You can't be responsible for what happened to them at 10 years old. You can only be responsible for what you do to someone. But if someone is speaking to you and responding to you as if you were the one that hurt them from something in their past, that's what I'm talking about. That person needs to do the work on themselves. And that person must make being spiritually, emotionally, and mentally healthy a priority. Yes, we all have to do the work on ourselves. We all have to consciously, every single day, choose to have a quality-filled life. It's something that you choose to have. It's something that you choose to do by how you live, the choices and decisions you make. There are no excuses to that. There's no justification for not living a quality-filled life because it's a choice. Because all of us have gone through things that were not good. All of us have been exposed to the craziness of this sick world. And because of that, we can be honest with ourselves and do the work. We don't have to justify being mean-spirited. We don't have to justify being just a lying liar. We don't have to justify that. We can be honest with ourselves and say, you know, I've been a liar for years and I don't have to keep lying. I don't have to keep hurting people. We don't have to do that. We can be honest with ourselves to bring about a change. And then when you decide to change, you will experience a better life. And the quality-filled life and a better life that I'm talking about is not based upon material things. I'm talking about a life filled with peace, a life filled with love, a life filled with joy, a life that doesn't is not affected by shame and guilt and condemnation. No, you can experience a life that is filled with love. Don't you want to feel more love? Don't you want to experience more love? It's a beautiful thing to wake up every single day and experience an abundance of love and abundance of joy, because all those things help us to function at our highest capacity. And when we function at our highest capacity, then we can be a blessing to someone else. So evaluate yourself, be honest with yourself so that you can do the work on yourself. Bring power to relationships and not your garbage. That's why I stated that, because a lot of times people bring their past to relationships. They bring their past hurts, their past traumas to relationships. How would you know if you are bringing your past traumas to relationships? How could you see that? How can you see it? How can you see it? You can see it by simply being honest according to how you react to different situations. What is your reaction? When something triggers you, do you go on an emotional rampage, or do you just recognize in the moment, oh, that's what that is? Oh, okay. What is your reactions? That's how you will know if you are bringing your traumas to a relationship. Now, I'm not talking about being a robot and not having no emotions and not having no response, because we are human, and yes, you will respond to certain things, but it's how you respond. Do you respond with malice? Do you respond with anger? Do you respond or react with hostility and rage? Are you triggered by anger on a level you can't control? That's what I'm talking about. So when you are honest with yourself, then you can see these things to get help or do the work. But if you are not honest with yourself, how will you change? How will you ever get to a place to know what is not good for you emotionally and mentally? So having self-awareness is very, very key. And honesty is very, very key. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you see yourself. You see exactly what you look like. You also should want to see exactly what you look like when it comes to your spirit. Because if you can see what you look like when it comes to your spirit, then you will want to change. And what do I mean by seeing what you look like according to your spirit? I'm talking about reactions, responses. I'm talking about your emotions. I'm talking about, are you walking around with anger? Are you walking around with unforgiveness? Unforgiveness has a look. Rage has a look. Anger has a look. Yes. Envy and jealousy, all those things have a look. So when you are honest with yourself, you get to see what you look like in your spirit. What are you filled with? Are you filled with goodness, or are you filled with something that happened in your past? Now, I'm not talking about you should just brush off all that you have gone through and just forget about it and act like it didn't happen. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about being healed from your past so that you don't take your past and put it in your presence to hurt other people. That's what I'm talking about. Bringing power to your relationships and not garbage helps you to be a blessing to other people. Garbage doesn't smell good. Garbage is very unclean. Garbage is waste. Garbage, it can be used for a purpose, but it's not pleasant. So when I use the word garbage, I'm talking about all the waste and unclean things from your past should not be in your relationships in the present. So evaluate where you are mentally. Evaluate what you are thinking. Evaluate what are you doing. And when you are honest with yourself, then you can see, then you can hear, then you will understand what to do. But if you are in denial and if you are not willing to look at where you are, what you're doing, how you're thinking, then guess what? No change can come that way when you are not honest. Self-inventory is one of the most healthiest things we can do in our alone time. We get the opportunity to look at ourselves in a transparent way with God to gain clarity about the road we should walk on to be a better person. And when you are not honest, you simply are choosing to be dysfunctional all over again. This inspirational quote is a really it's a deep topic to discuss, because some people would rather stay in a place of I'm okay because I got a house and a car and some money in the bank and I look good, I can buy all kinds of name brands, and never look at their spirit. Having a house and a car and money in the bank does not equate to total success. Having a house and a car and being able to fly all over the world and having wealth, that does not equal total success. Total success is having all that you desire according to what you set for yourself to accomplish: house, car, money, all that stuff, education. But then the most important part of success is how you treat people. What is your attitude? How do you think daily? Are you thinking negative? Are you esteeming yourself higher than people because of your house and your car and your education? Are you walking around degrading others and thinking you are higher because of your house and your car and your education? Or are you lifting other people up? Are you encouraging other people? Are you being a blessing to other people? Are you working on yourselves to stay away from your past traumas? That's total success. Because God is always looking at how we treat people. He is always looking at how we treat one another. And having money in the bank and just flaunting all kinds of stuff, that's vanity. That is absolute vanity. So be mindful of these things, to take inventory of yourself, be honest with yourself, do the work on yourself, and make being mentally, spiritually, emotionally healthy a priority. Make all of that a priority so that you can bring power to your relationships and not garbage. So I thank you for tuning in to listen to SB Favorite Thinking podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavorite@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Audible, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. You can find me on all of those networks, social media handles. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm also on Instagram, of course. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, click like, leave me some feedback, click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there is a new episode. And also make sure you share this podcast with others. And once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. If you would like to send me an email to receive instructions on other ways you can give, please do that too. Make sure you share this podcast with others, and thank you so much for listening. I enjoy talking about these topics to inspire, to encourage, to uplift. So I hope that something was said so that you could receive encouragement again to be a better you. Thank you so much for listening. You have a good day.